Why Adelia Rodrigues is testifying against Amadeus, her former best friend. Before answering that question, let's first find out who is she, observe her background, and then which circumstances the elders of Morden Congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses are exploring, in order to take advantage of her dubious statement. Adelia Rodrigues is a veteran Jehovah's Witness who suffers of mental histrionic disorder. She is married to a Brazilian citizen who is also mental retarded. Currently they live on benefits in Kenley, in a flat which was arranged by the Croydon Council. Some years before, they were running a custom jewelry business in Streatham which bankrupted for bad administration. Both Adelia and Jalma Rodrigues have a long history of civil, biblical and criminal offenses. For example, for a Jehovah's Witness to get married, both have to be civil and biblically free of previous engagements. However, when Jalma and Adelia got engaged, he was still married to his previous wife who was living in Brazil. He had to travel on purpose to Brazil in order to get divorced. But he was already compromised with Adelia, looking towards the wedding, something completely unacceptable for a baptized Jehovah's Witness. To start a dating relationship, both have to be already free from previous relationships, which was not the case in here. But that is not all. We recently checked the Portuguese Prosecution Service archives of Adelia's hometown, and found out that there is a crime report against both Adelia and Jalma Rodrigues for money theft and abuse of confidence on her own father's bank account. According to the report, their shop business was bankrupted, and they needed urgently fresh new money to restore the shelves. Once her parents had just arrived to London, they got access to her father's card and started making repetitive cash withdrawals until the account was almost empty. They stole around £5,000, equivalent to €6,000. This criminal action was subject of report both to the Jehovah's Witnesses branch in Chelmsford, and to the elders of Streatham Portuguese congregation. Despite the seriousness of the matter, the local elders decided to apply some forgiveness because both were made themselves available to testify against Amadeus, to the elders of Morden. This is obviously a double standard. For less than this, many had been disfellowshipped straight away. After they emptied her father's bank account, they traveled to Portugal with intentions to close such account, and start using another one instead. They got also into the flat to collect all the bank statements and destroy them, eliminating any remains of evidence over their crime. But that is not all. It was reported that some years ago they were selling counterfeit Louis Vuitton bags in their shop, which is both a civil and criminal offense. They stole documents from Amadeus' bag to have access to a court case reference, in order to write to the court asking her exoneration as a witness. They wanted to do that without his knowledge, proving how untrustworthy and dishonest they are. They also were fined by the UK government for fraudulently using the Universal Credit Allowance to medical expenses, without being entitled to. And finally, their name was on the SSE database as default payer, in which they were owing thousands of pounds in electricity bills, which had to be paid by a charity organisation. But that is not all. When the MI5 spread false rumors that Amadeus wanted to marry a South African lady named Karina, they believed, and placed themselves available to receive the girl and speak to her about Amadeus. Their mental illness was clearly evident in this episode. They thought that Amadeus was really infatuated with the girl, and to protect him against a bad mundane woman, they invented all of the most nasty stories about him. in order to keep her as far away from him as possible. For example, they said that he had a screw loose, that he smells, because of his poor hygiene, that he lives in another world, and on and on and on. On speaking like this, they achieved their goal, which was making the girl being scared of Amadeus. But on the other hand, Adelia Rodrigues was not able to protect her own husband from the bad mundane woman. On the same evening, and on the further days, she started to ask questions about Jalma Rodrigues to her friends from the MI5, who explained to her that the only occasion he goes to central London was on Sunday afternoon, usually with his wife. On the other hand, friends of Jalma Rodrigues in Streatham High Road, who had links to the MI5, warned him that the lady was making too many questions, and that she would like to be alone with him for a chat and exchange contacts. Jalma Rodrigues immediately arranged a way to go to London on a weekday, which happened on Monday the 22nd of October 2018. It is unclear for us about what exactly happened after that. Some sources say that she quit about him when she realized that he was mentally retarded. Other sources are saying that he cycled one Sunday to her area, met with her, and she invited him to mount her bike. The same source suggested that the romance did not last longer, due to Jalma's poor performance, and because her new boyfriend was suspecting, and that he started controlling her. For us, this is not a surprise once we were already aware of their criminal actions made in secret. Plus adding the fact that by December 2017 we detected the browsing of explicit erotic content from Jalma's laptop computer, the same one that they kept in the shop all the time. Jalma Rodrigues was watching Asian nude videos in secret, knowingly that such conduct is unacceptable for a Jehovah's Witness. By the time that he was interested in Karina and vice versa. His friends from the MI5 were also pushing him, sending erotic videos, which he was sharing with others. It looks like that the MI5 was not doing much to protect Adelia's marriage with Jalma. But in the end, if they are so dishonest, and so unreliable, why the elders in Morden are using them to testify against Amadeus? Well, some of the elders in Morden are Freemasons, and they received instructions from the lodge, and from the governing body, that Amadeus had to be disfellowshipped. Once their original plans did not work, and allegations of apostasy could not be proved, they had to inquire every person who might had be close to him, and asked him all the piece of relevant and irrelevant information about him, in order to see if they could find anything that could be used against Amadeus, in order to disfellowship him, preferably without a judicial hearing. Adelia and Jalma Rodrigues both suffer of mental disorders, which makes them an easy target of manipulation. Adelia and Jalma Rodrigues are both very dishonest, and do not need to make much efforts to lie, or distort facts, as the episode with Karina had shown. The Freemasons also have the habits of applying biblical examples, mostly the bad ones. For example, when the king Ahab asked Naboth to sell his vineyard, Naboth refused. Hereditary property could not be sold under the law of Moses. Jezebel, on the other hand, resolved the problem in a very simple way, requested the testimonials of two good-for-nothing men to falsely testify against Naboth, resulting in him being sentenced to death. And this is exactly what the elders in Morden are doing, according to the Rodrigues background. They collected the statements of also other bad people, such as prostitutes, alcoholics, thieves, ex-girlfriends of Amadeus who swore to destroy him, if they had a chance, and, most important, they collected the testimonials of Amadeus' older sister who had wished him dead.
Então deixa lá.
But notwithstanding all of the information collected, most of the things doesn't add up. Actually, nothing of it makes any sense. For example, Adelia claims to Amadeu that she doesn't know Karina. But to the elders of Morden, and also to the elders of Streatham, she admitted to know the girl, and that she was in their shop. The fact that they tell two different stories to two different people shows how dishonest they are, and the extent of their mental disease. It also disqualifies them as potential witnesses in a court case which is ongoing. Other piece of information which Adelia passed to the Morden elders is that Amadeus was promoting conspiracy theories about the elders being Freemasons, when actually she also shared with him the same point of view. Adelia had even outflown that her brother Paulo Rodrigues left Jehovah's Witnesses because he had been mistreated by elders who were Freemasons. Some of them even used the ring, she claimed. She also suggested that the spouse of the coordinator of Streatham had made a Masonic symbol to the Zoom camera during an official meeting of Jehovah's Witnesses on Saturday. Some of those WhatsApp messages sent to Amadeus she had deleted straight away. How hypocritical. But if she agreed with Amadeus before, on the Masonic membership of elders in the congregations, for what reason she turned against him? Why she turned her back to him and started betraying him? The main reason is that she had the hope that Amadeus would receive a bribe of £25 million in order to leave the country, and leave behind the accusations he has against elders on criminal acts performed by some of them. The English Freemasons approach to many governments, and private donors all around the world, order to get such amount of money, and get rid of the problem which Amadeus might cause to the Freemasons inside Jehovah's Witnesses organization. However, none of them was actually interested in donating such amount, being the latest approaches done to Brazil and Turkey on last weekend. Both were rejected. The other reason is that Tim Eagles and other elders from Morden started asking questions about their financial situation, which made him believe that some financial help would come. One powerful Freemason even approached to Jalma's employer and ordered, "Give this guy a pay rise." This is a form of bribery, and a typical tactic of those who control the corrupt system in which we live. Now, after considering how dishonest, hypocrite and bad character Adelia and Jalma Rodrigues are, we reach the conclusion that the Freemasons are solidly established inside Jehovah's Witnesses organization, and that they use those who are morally corrupt and spiritually useless in order to reach their intents. Adelia gives the appearance of someone spiritually strong, however she has shown to be so rotten as her husband is. The most useless people who someone can come across in this life.